Greetings, fellow artists, and welcome. My goal is to help you avoid the mistakes I've already made and to save money while you're doing it. Well, let's get on it. Today we're going to make this beautiful hibiscus. Hibiscus is simple, 5 simple petals, but a very bizarre stamen. Look at the 5 little balls on the end and hairy little things, and it's a little curvy. And what we're going to do, we've got wire. We've got our stem wire on the left. It's 18 gauge. The others are higher gauge because the higher the thinner. Alright, we need 5 of those little things to put the balls on the stamen, because the first thing you make is the base. And that's a principle of design for every flower. There are 5 very skinny wires. They need to be even. So, okay, they're even now. Hope they stay even all the way through. This is floral tape, very interesting stuff. It sticks to itself when you stretch it. You get some on Amazon, probably lasts you a long, long time. The deal is you start it, press it, stretch and press, stretch and press. This is a skill you're going to have if you're going to make flowers. And you'll get better and better and faster with it. Stretch and press, stretch and press. Just rip it off. There we go. We've got 5 little tiny stems to stick our little red balls for our stamen on. Here's our stem wire. We're going to need to attach that to the stem wire. Once again, stretch and press, stretch and press, stretch and press. We don't need it very long. You'll see why later. The stem is too skinny. The stamen is a little fatter than that. Principle of design, start in the middle and roll out toward the edge, and you'll get it like that. You attach it. Oh, that's not going to attach right. Lay it back down, flatten it a little bit so it won't roll. Here's where this clay really comes into its own. You just press it in there about halfway through the thing, and then you can bring it around and seal it up because it loves to stick to itself. And it's going to stay workable for a while depending on your relative humidity. And there we go. We've got a fatter stem. You might need a fatter stem for a tulip, for example. And we're going to smooth that out a bit. Little trick, these little teeny scissors, you can kind of like cut and pull, cut and pull, cut and pull very gently and carefully. It's going to make those little hairs that stick out on the stamen. I don't know if you can see them very well. You can see them better here. We did the whole thing. Snip and pull, snip and pull. We got little hairs all over the stamen. But we need little balls on the end of the wires. So we got some little balls sitting there. Gonna dip this in some glue so it's just the teeniest little drop of glue on the end of that thing. And then we're going to stub the little balls. And there we go. We got little balls on the end of a hairy funny thing. We'll let that dry. That's got to dry a couple hours, maybe overnight, depends on your humidity. These are veiners. They're silicone molds, 2-part. You can use them for veining. You can get these on Amazon. Anything that's used for gum paste can also be used for this. So we're going to vein these petals a little bit. Hard to believe that that little ball is going to become a petal. Make a pointy end. We're like, oh, we got a long way to go to get it up there, don't we? On the pointy end, don't make that too skinny because you're going to have to stick a wire in there. We're going to stick our 22 wire in there. And we can just make this petal a little bigger with our fingers. We have put cornstarch on the silicone mold, so this won't stick. That's very frustrating. Sticking our wire in there with a little dab of glue, about 3/4 of an inch in, and seal it on the end. I modified this a little bit. I cut a little hole with the X-Acto knife so that the wire part can go in there, so I don't squish it and the wire pop through, because that's ugly. So let's see, we're going to make sure it's there. We're going to wiggle it around a bit. Make sure it's where it's supposed to be. And then we're going to put the top on the mold. And squishy, squishy. Squishy, squishy, but not the wire part. Oh, there we go. We've got some deep veins in there. Still not big enough, not the right shape, but it's getting there. We're going to thin it a great deal, which means you're going to be adding cornstarch. You can do that with a makeup brush. Alternatively, you don't need a mold at all. You can do it with your baller, which you already have, which you do need. Let's say this is a magnolia leaf, a little fatter than some leaves, and you see you can shape it completely with your baller. You even see it's got some little subtle veins in there. Here's a part I did not edit out because you'll make mistakes too. The little piece of junk got in there floating through the air, so I took that out. And we're gonna vein and shape carefully. Magnolia leaf is thicker, so it's not quite as sticky and difficult. Make any shape you want to. Alrighty. You can see there are already veiny looking things in there. Trimmed off a little bit of rough edges. You can also vein with a barbecue skewer very gently. Very gently. And the skewer is held almost parallel to the flower. And then sometimes it's shaped like a taco and turned down at the end. But back to our original veined leaf. This needs to be very thin. So whenever you're going to really thin something a lot, you'll use more cornstarch. Because the glue is coming up, it's sticking to your baller, sticking to the table, ripping the flower. This is got to see that? See how it's stuck right there? Alright, we're going to powder that up. And by the way, don't worry about that. That'll come off easily once it's dry. Shapey, shapey. Clean up the baller, shapey, shapey. Very thin on the edges, which is true of a lot of flowers. Go out in the garden and look, they're pretty thin on the edges. Bring a flower right into your studio and dissect it and see how is it made, how are the veins going. Alright, you don't hardly see the veins anymore, they're still there, but as I said, cornstarch will come off later when it's dry. This is a dryer I made. I made it out of paper mache and plaster mixed together and shaped it. Some people use a spoon. Usually a flower is a little bit cupped in the middle, In this case, I want it to hang over a little bit on the edge. And remember, it's going to dry exactly as you left it. So we'll set that aside. We need 5 of them. Took off the powder. Had to add a little bit of red wash. And it needs a little bit of black down there. We're going to put a tiny bit of black. Kind of a dry brush and kind of blend it in. Flowers have very subtle color changes. The dry brush wash. Now, I usually paint, so I'm assuming you knew this, but maybe I should do a little thing on that as well. Put it in the comments if you think I should. Well, I had artist regret, and I didn't like my first stamen, so I made a whole brand new one. He's a little curved, remember? A little curved. Is he that curved? Oh, I think he's even a little more curved. Careful, don't break it. Not that curved. There we go. Alright, now there's our petals, and there's our stamen, and we're going to assemble this. Figure out exactly where you want it. Actually, you're going to guess exactly where you want it. We're going to get our tape, and remember it's press and pull. I'm going to be very aggressive with this, like a cowboy hog-tying a calf, because I don't want this moving around. It's very aggressive taping. We don't always tape this aggressively, but I'm going to do it when I attach the petals. And right about there. They should all be attached at the same level. And we've got 5 to put on there. You see they're all different. And this is okay because petals are different in nature. We're all different. And so are the petals of each flower. I find that kind of amazing. Real tight on there. That looks about right. Not perfect yet. Gonna press and pull, and the tape will stick to itself. And as I said, I'm not making a big long stem on this one. I just need the blossom, and you'll see what I need it for at the end. Well, now these petals are not going to change, except they're wired, and so you can wiggle them around down the wire all you want, make adjustments. We had a little white spot, so I just took a Sharpie and covered that in. And there we go. There's our hibiscus. It's a little wild and flavory looking, and you can mess with the positioning all you want. It's not going to hurt anything. The petals are very hard, and the wire is very flexible. Well, there we go. That looks like it's going to do. And here's the other one I made earlier, and yes, those will do. And it's going on Parker the parrot, which is a life-size cold porcelain parrot that I made. And he's free hanging, and I'm going to hang him on the wall, and he's going to look cute. Was this helpful? Please like, share, and comment. Thanks. And remember, it's not a screw-up, it's a learning experience. And have a great week.